Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, Airsoft Al, and welcome to a presentation, if you will. A deep dive into a dimension not of our own, yet at the same time of our own.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Those who don't know, I do love the Twilight Zone. The feeling, Rod Serling's writing, directing, all of it. The Twilight Zone is just a absolute source of material that can be worked with. Some movies have been based off the Twilight Zone. Many a short story or even actual stories have been made popular because of the Twilight Zone. Many an episode was continued on because of the Twilight Zone in the form of comic books or even audio dramas. The Twilight Zone is, to a writer, what an all-you-can-eat buffet is to a man who can eat but yet gain no weight. In the most literal sense, ladies and gentlemen, the Twilight Zone is an amazing source of story potential and material for a fan fiction writer. Which is why, in today's episode of Pitch Meeting, we shall be taking a look at the Twilight Zone and realize the potential it has for My Hero Academia. In fact, what's kind of cool about it is that if you look at My Hero Academia, or at least the whole frickin' reaction scene, a lot of it is just the same. It's either memes, other stories, or along the lines of clips and things like that, instead of actually taking a hard look at the idea and realizing what potential it has. And in this case, I present to you 3 story ideas from the Twilight Zone, but with My Hero Academia. So how does it start? The My Hero Academia storyline could basically be essentially someone invites them to a showing. Not just any showing, but a showing that they have no idea how much it will change their lives and make them really look at themselves. 3 story ideas from the Twilight Zone itself that I present to you today. The first one being, of course, a classic we all know and love that has been satirized around our favorite Ida speedster himself and his love of reading, and what would happen if one day he had all the time in the world to read, only for that to be dashed away. The idea in of itself could basically be that Ida, basically the speedster himself, more or less is so ingrained in the rules that he reads any book he can get his hands on. He reads everything he can. That's his joy in life, is just reading, reading, reading. And then when one day everything ends because of an atomic bomb, he has all that time in the world only for his glasses to be destroyed. And again, it's a lovely idea because the ending has been satirized so much, but it's a good ending. Burgess Meredith does an amazing job, and the idea of our speedster friend here actually taking that role on and actually being that same character, come on, you know it'd be fun. The second story, of course, being one that, let's be honest, is, again, one of the more iconic ones. Basically, there's a gremlin on the wing, except in this case, instead of William Shatner's character, who would take that place, would be none other than, of course, Aizawa. Aizawa would be the titular, just manic, more or less, taking a plane ride to somewhere only to look out the window and there be a fucking gremlin on the wing. Do you see why this would work? Because Aizawa as a character is someone who is very much so sleep deprived. So he could himself basically question whether or not he's actually seeing this, or if it's just his own sleep depravity. Again, this has been satirized in all media. Be it, of course, from parody, even a Johnny Bravo episode, many things. But then comes the third story. One that doesn't really... well, one that doesn't really truly need to be malice or just downright mean-spirited. No, it is one of goodwill towards thy fellow man. Or at least, in this case, the goodwill of one person. One man, Izuku Midoriya, and his pitch to the angels. Or in this case, him being that good-hearted, selfless man who would literally do all he could to save one girl's life when talking to the angel of death. Even going as far as to giving him the pitch of the century, only to walk off into the sunset, allowing him to be taken to heaven instead of a little girl. Again, like I said, it's not of malice or hate, but these three stories are just great examples of how each of the characters could embody those characters within the Twilight Zone. My Hero Academia is a perfect selection, a melting pot, just absolute glorious in that it is perfect for the ideas of the Twilight Zone. And I implore many of you to look at the Twilight Zone and your favorite fandom and ask yourselves, could this work in the fifth dimension that is the Twilight Zone? Thank you all so very much for watching this video. I really do hope you do get some ideas from this. I legitimately had this on my mind, and I'll be honest, the Twilight Zone is probably one of my favorite shows to watch during the month of October, for good reason, and I think a lot of you can agree with that, because it is a show just absolutely steeped in that October spirit. And let's be honest here, we can all agree it is a fun show to watch during this month of spookiness. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below of what My Hero Academia cast would be good and what episode of the Twilight Zone. I'd love to hear it in the comment section down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al. If you want to help out the channel, consider donating to the PayPal and Cash App down below. And if you want to help out the channel but get cool stuff in return, check out our affiliate links down below as well. And as always, I've been Airsoft Al. I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time, here in the Twilight Zone.